Hi, welcome to FreeMMOStation. My name's Skyley, and today we're doing a first impression look at Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex First Assault, a new first-person free-to-play shooter.
FreeMMOStation.com.
Alright guys, so I played for 40 minutes, I'm done with my little session, and I'm pretty hype. I just got done. I want to talk about it. I want to go right now. Normally I'll play it for a little bit longer or a little bit less, but this game, I feel really mixed feelings. I need to get this off my chest right now, okay? So, my very first impressions, as soon as I loaded up the game and started playing, the voice acting was the original voice actors, really good. I love the production quality of the game so far. The graphics could be a little bit better. The skybox is a little bit rusty. Overall, it doesn't look super amazing. It doesn't feel like a AAA game. It doesn't. But at the same time, it definitely competes with some $20 games. I think it could actually compete with Counter-Strike. It definitely competes with almost every free-to-play shooter out there. So yeah, I really like it. It doesn't look and feel as explosive as Call of Duty, or the new ones at least, but compared to its proper competition in the free-to-play sector and the $15 and $20 sector, yeah, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex First Assault Online is doing a really good job. It's got the just a right amount. Nothing super duper blew me away, except for the fact, you know, the voice acting, and then you can even get some clips of the anime, like actually in the game whenever you're choosing the different game types. You get like this little sequence. Oh yeah, when you spawn into the maps, there's also that really cool like cyber, like it's called diving into the map, so you get this like cyber version of the map. You kind of can look around, and I don't know, it's just aesthetically pretty cool. But it's not above and beyond in the ways that I would normally like it. I like a lot of post-processing, I like really good graphics, I love like huge sound design, so I like really good animations as well. I like a lot of things that make my eyeballs feel good, and Ghost in the Shell doesn't quite do that for me. It's no Battlefield, but for what it is, you know, it's focusing on, I guess, the mechanics that matter for people who like this kind of game. And now, what kind of game is this? It's not just a shooter, guys. For those who play shooters like me, you know there's way different kind of shooters. I mean, you got your Tribes Ascends. Well, Tribes Ascend. There's only one Tribes right now. Oh, Mid-Air's coming out, though. It's looking pretty good. Anyways, you got your Tribes-like games. You have your Blacklight Retribution, your Call of Duties, your Halos, your Gears of War. Like, there's lots of different kind of shooter games. Specifically, first-person shooters, though. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex First Assault is very similar to Counter-Strike. So if you didn't like the feel, or maybe even like the look of Counter-Strike, like how it's not like super duper AAA looking, you know, it's like it can run on any machine. Yeah, that's how the Ghost in the Shell looks. It plays just like it though, like in so many ways, and some of the different game modes. Yeah, it doesn't have like the whole system where you can purchase items as you go through the match. It actually has a system very similar to Blacklight Retribution, kind of mixed with the new Black Ops 3 Call of Duty. It's a character shooter, which is totally surprising to me. I wasn't expecting that, but it makes sense here. And Ghost in the Shell, you actually pick a character and you have a unique ability, your Q ability, and you get it just like in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, you get this ability charged up over time as you kill people. But what's cool about this is that there's actually different tiers, like levels, and you have different charges. So for me, I played a character that had invisibility, and I could have different varying lengths of invisibility, but if I got it to a certain tier, I could actually share it. I could link it with my teammates, and that just adds a huge amount of tactical depth that even a AAA game, Black Ops 3, didn't have with its new character shooter mechanic. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Now comparing this directly to Blacklight Retribution, which is a game so close to my heart, I love that game. But honestly, its gunplay is, it's really intuitive. Yes, it is. I'm really good at the game. It's very easy for me to aim, but it's not really that complex. There's not a whole lot of interesting stuff going on with the gunplay. Now, jumping into Ghost in the Shell. This gunplay is weird. In fact, the first thing I did, the first time I died, I was like, whoa, is anybody else lagging? Like, what's going on? Why do the guns feel so weird in this game? And what I was replied to with was that you'll get used to it. And I definitely did. After a couple of games, I started actually doing well, but the gunplay is really, really weird. If you've actually played Counter-Strike, you might feel just at home, because like the bullet spread is so ridiculously huge. It is not easy to play this game. Jump into Blacklight Retribution. Go into Tribes Ascend and play with the automatics, even though, you know, it's actually really hard to play that game. It is just so easy and intuitive to play those games and like the Call of Duties. When you jump into Ghost in the Shell or maybe Counter-Strike, like I said previously, those games play totally different mechanically with their guns. There is like this whole recoil system where you have to memorize recoil patterns if you're like a super good pro at Counter-Strike. So I imagine Ghost in the Shell is the same. There's just a huge amount of spread with the guns. There's a huge amount of like aim kick whenever you're aiming, and and all in all, it's just like really hard to just aim, period, in this game. Even though it's not like Tribes Ascend where people are flying around the map and it's hard like that. No, it's just playing hard to handle these weapons. And I imagine that since there is a variety of weapons and there's a huge amount of customization with those weapons, I think that it could be really, really fun, okay? Now, this is probably mechanically what Blacklight Retribution should have been from the very beginning. They tried to change it later on, but then in Blacklight Retribution, the recent most update with the PlayStation 4 client coming over to the PC, they actually removed some things. Oh no, Blacklight Retribution, it isn't a bad spot. It's not super popular. It used to be super cool. And all in all, I think there totally is a place for Ghost in the Shell to come in and fill the niche that Blacklight Retribution isn't filling anymore, man. There were so many cool free-to-play shooters, right? There was like Hawken, Blacklight Retribution, Tribes Ascend, and they're now all sucking and dead, and almost nobody plays them. So Ghost in the Shell is one of those free-to-play shooters that come along, and it seemed, at first glance, a lot of people, myself included, honestly, saw Ghost in the Shell as like, oh, it's just, Nexon and some company, they're just trying to develop a game and slap on Ghost in the Shell on top of it. But the truth is that I was pleasantly surprised. They actually got the actual voice actors. It looks like they are truly taking the inspiration of Ghost in the Shell to heart, and mechanically, it just makes a lot of sense. It feels pretty good. Now, it's not that intuitive, though. It is a game that's going to take a good couple of matches. I played for 40 minutes, and I'm just now starting to get the hang of it, so I just, I wanted to jump into this first impression and tell you guys exactly how I feel raw, because I had the feeling that I was starting to forget some of the bad moments of my first impressions, okay? So like I said, the aiming, it doesn't feel good. Once you learn it, you understand that, yeah, there's some mechanics to it, there's some play around with the weapons, you have to learn them, but as you jump in, as a first impression, it's not as explosive and as fun as Call of Duty, I'll admit it. But if you can get over it, or if you have played a similar game, Counter-Strike, then you might jump into this game and have a lot of fun. Now, let's talk about some of these different weapons. I got to play with a sniper rifle, a submachine gun, I believe, and an assault rifle. Now, with all these different weapons, the sniper rifle didn't kill in one hit unless it was a headshot. I do know that. The assault rifle, oh my god, took a lot of bullets, and then the submachine gun took a lot of bullets as well, but you're normally close range, so you're just gonna kind of pepper people. Either way, whatever weapon I was using with my character, it just kind of took a lot of hits. Normally with a sniper rifle, I like playing games where the sniper rifle has really fast loading, or it just does a huge amount of, just a metric fuck ton, like a nuke amount of damage. So I like that, but in this game, you have to actually be good with either weapon. With the sniper, with the submachine gun, you have to actually aim or tap your bullets. You have to actually, you can't just spray. If you spray, just like in Counter-Strike, it's not gonna work. So you have to actually master each of these weapons. Now, unlike Counter-Strike, where you purchase items through different rounds, kind of almost like RPG-ish or MOBA-ish as you buy, like there's like progression through the rounds. Ghost in the Shell doesn't do that. It's outside progression. So there is a customization element. You do have your character, that's pretty cool, but you also have your weapon, and your weapon has about Blacklight Retribution level customization, or Call of Duty level customization, where you can change out the magazine, the different kind of scopes, the different, like the muzzle, and like everything, man. Everything about the gun pretty much you can customize. So if you have a gun that does a lot of damage, but it's really hard to maintain and control, then you might want to make it so it's easier to maintain. Or if you're really good at the game and you totally have learned the recoil patterns and you know how to use that weapon, its raw power, then maybe just add on more power. Whatever, you could do whatever you want with the customization. I think that's pretty cool. If you're not going to be able to match Counter-Strike and use its mechanics, then at least beat out Blacklight Retribution, which had some of the best customization out there. Yeah, so Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, this is my favorite genre, by the way, guys, so that's my bias. I love character shooters. Gigantic, Battleborn, Overwatch, literally, like I could just name and list all of them, but it doesn't matter. Dirty Bomb. It doesn't matter. Ghost in the Shell, though, is turning out to actually be one of the better ones. Now, let's compare it to Dirty Bomb. This is one of the character shooters that's really popular. It's also free to play. Ghost in the Shell's honestly pretty good. I think it's going to directly compete. I mean, it's going to compete with it in a way that I think is healthy, in a healthy environment. It's not exactly the same game, okay? It is pretty similar to Blacklight Retribution, though, but at the same time, there are definitely some mechanics, like I said, with the gunplay that make it more similar to Counter-Strike, which we don't really see too many Counter-Strike-like games. If we do, they're really ancient, they're really old. So Ghost in the Shell adds a whole lot of depth, man. It has so many cool mechanics from so many different genres of, well, the first-person shooter shooter genre, and it kind of blends them all in. It's almost like some genius game developer has been playing these modern FPSs, and they're like, you know what, let's take all these cool elements from these games, let's put them into this game and skin it with Ghost in the Shell and actually, you know, do it justice, and boom, we have a good game. Hopefully it sells well. I could totally see why they're advertising this game so hard. It costs $5 though, guys. $5 to actually get into the game, early access, but I imagine it'll probably come out soon enough. I think I'm liking it. Now, I only got to play as one character, but I do know that there's different couple of characters and their abilities. They work like so. Like, we have a speed boost, we have an armor boost, kind of like an overshield. Like, I don't know if you guys played Halo, there's invisibility. And remember, you can share all these with your teammates at certain times, though you do have to actually, like, do good. You have to actually kill people in order to charge up this ability. All in all, man, I think I'm having fun with it, even though my very first game, I was rocked. Like, I sucked, I got destroyed. Truth though, that happened to me in Counter-Strike. So, you know, honestly, Ghost in the Shell, standalone complex, if you try it, give it some time. Give it at least 40 minutes, man. Give it at least 1 hour, and I think you're gonna start to see the game in a really good light. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not like blowing me away. Honestly, it's not blowing me away. A lot of my bias is kind of carrying the game, I'll be honest here, but I think a lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised. Many games, many free-to-play shooters coming out, like Metro Conflict, have instantly been rated with mixed reviews because people can see through the bullshit. You know, we've seen so many of these kind of games, even if they have some, like, unique sort of, like, mechanic added in, it just, whatever, you know? Like, we can see the obvious shit quality of the rest of the game. The truth, though, is that Ghost in the Shell is actually a really good quality game, and it's not just riding on the coattails of Ghost in the Shell. It's actually pretty legit. Even if it wasn't Ghost in the Shell, you know what I'm saying? It's color-coded. It's color-coded with a Ghost in the Shell, but it's actually, it bleeds through everything. Again, they actually got the voice actors. It sounds good, man. It sounds good. I can't wait to see the different kind of game modes. I don't know if they're going to have co-op or... Well, I don't know what they're going to do with this game, but I have a feeling it's going to probably be similar to Blacklight Retribution, where that went. You know, Blacklight Retribution started out small, and then it got really big, and then it died completely. So I'd like to see Ghost in the Shell get really big, add some new game modes, add new characters, add new weapons, new customization, fun skins, all sorts of silly stuff, new maps. I want to see a lot added to this game because what I'm played right now for First Assault Online, what I played actually has a huge amount of potential. Sorry for ranting, guys. I don't really know what to say. This game has a lot of in-depth mechanics that actually, you know, they're all from, like, really competitive games. So, if you guys want to know a little bit more, I guess you can message in the comments, ask some questions, and I'll try to answer them the best I can, but it seems that there's a lot of in-depth stuff going on with this game that I just can't explain in my first impressions, and you know what? That's a good thing. That's a good thing that I can't inherently just... Even though I play almost every single first-person shooter out there, I play a lot of free-to-play games, and I still am trying to fumbling around with my thoughts and feelings with this game because I think there's just that much depth. I don't think it's because the game's shitty, I think it's just really that deep. I hope. Then again, first impressions, not a full review. It could actually just be really awkward and shitty, and maybe I had huge latency, but I think that the game actually just has some really cool gunplay. Let's go with that, okay? Anyways, what do you guys think of Ghost in the Shell if you guys play? Do you guys like Ghost in the Shell, period? I mean, I don't know if you guys watch my other previous reviews, but I fucking love anime, and Ghost in the Shell is one of the best. So if you haven't seen that, check out the anime. But also, as soon as you get the chance, guys, I think you should check out First Assault Online Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Thanks for watching. I'm Skylent with FreeMMOStation. We kind of do free multiplayer games, so yeah, like and subscribe if you want to know all about the newest ones coming out, like Ghost in the Shell. And we'll see you again next time.